Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is NURUL NAJIHAH. Today, me and my friend are going to talk about risk in a food and beverages industry. What is risk? Risk basically is a situation which is there is a possibility of a bad or unhelpful separation from the expected and hope of the result. Risk is also defined as the chance of loss, doubt, moving away between actual and expected result, and the chance of an unlucky event. For the assignment, we are more focuses on the identifying the risk, which is we are carefully studying the risk exposure and discovering the elements that hit and affect food part area for the risk.
Potential of risk. There is 6 potential of risk, which is poor risk, speculative risk, fundamental risk, particular risk, financial value risk, and non-financial value risk. The first one is poor risk. It's like a disaster and accidental risk, risks that are uncontrollable by a people and that either result in a loss or no loss with no possibility of financial gain. Next is speculative risk, like loss in company income risk, has an uncertain amount of gain or loss. Speculation is not a poor risk, which involves the risk of just a loss and no potential for gain, because there is a chance of a sizable gain despite the high level of risk. The third one is fundamental risk, which is inflation risk. The risk definitely affects the price of the good that household purchase due to increased production costs in an economy of inflation. Food and beverage industries has been compelled to increase the pricing of their product. The fourth one is particular risk. That is a behavior of delivery agent or partner. Food and beverage industry in franchise without needing to hire salespeople, franchising agents or partner can be utilized to offer goods or service. An individual, business or corporation that has signed an agreement and agreed to follow certain guidelines and restrictions is referred to as a franchise agent or partner. Next is financial value risk. That is a stock and inventories problem. We must compare our perceptions of storage and inventory control before knowing how it will affect your restaurant's cost. The process of ensuring the right amount of what is in your storage space is known as storage or inventory control. The last one is non-financial value risk. That is a non-compliance to SOP. Non-financial value risk is described as a risk where the outcome of an operation cannot be measured in monetary terms, such as any loss that might occur from the risk and cannot be quantified by the person concerned.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is NAWAL SAUDAH. So I will continue on part 3, which is causes of risks. There are several causes of risk. The first one is causes of disaster and accidental risk, which the number one is natural disaster. For example, flash flood, hurricane, and landslide. The second one is fire. This can happen when the kitchen, the gas stove are left unattended. That can cause a leak or fire in the kitchen. The third one is cooking machines defects. The food might not cook properly due to thermometer defect. The fourth one is virus and disease outbreak. This can happen when the food is not handled properly and causing a poisonous events. The second cause is causes of loss in company income risk, which is the first one is weak in franchise operation. Management itself have trouble in operating the franchise with discipline and proper system. The second one is lack of talented staff. Many employers having trouble in finding talented staff. Third one is bad accounting management. This can cause a bad debt situation for the franchise. And the last one is lack of financial support when needed. The third causes of risk is inflation risk. The number one is price increase of raw material, which we can see, for example, the price of oil, cooking oil, and chicken. The second one is increase of staff salary due to the increase of minimum wage that announced by the Human Resource Minister. The third one is low low purchasing power due to inflation. And the last one is low supply of raw material. For example, a few months ago, we in Malaysia has a serious chicken shortage. The fourth cause of risk is behavior of delivery agent or partner, which is it can happen during accident during duty. For example, when the driver is dangerous riding behavior, which can cause an accident, and also because of bad road conditions. The second one is damage of food, with improper driving skills can cause a drink or food spillage. The third one is food theft from delivery rider. There are cases where delivery rider was caught. The last one is late food pickup due to traffic situations or the driver itself is arriving late. The fifth causes of risk is stock or inventories problem. This can happen when there is an internal theft of foods and money. It depends on how the management keep track of the food and money. The second one is improper count of inventories. This can cause problems when they want to identify their sales and profit. The third one is high usage of water and electricity, which cause to high bill for that they need to pay. And the last one is improper use of furniture. The last causes of risk is the non-compliance to SOP, which is a standard of procedure. The first one is SOP of preparing foods and drink. This is the crucial part of the food safety system. Second one is SOP of staff hygienic, which, for example, they need to wash hands before getting to work. The third one is unhygienic raw materials. They need to make sure that the raw materials is clean. And the last one is wrong chemical usage that can cause the risk of food contamination.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is NURUL binti SULEIMAN and I will continue this presentation with the effect of risk. The first one is effect of disaster and accident risk. It will cause physical damage of business premise, such as damage to tangible property. The business will be also closed due to disaster risk. It will make improper food prepared when the cooking machine is broken. The company also could not operate the business as usual. Next, the second one is effect of loss in company income risk. It will cause the deficit in profit when some franchise works in low performance. Other than that, the business also could not operate normally when they have lack of talented staff. It will also make bad debt and finance management. And the company also will late respond to any circumstance due to slow support of financial from the headquarters. Number 3, effect of inflation risk. Due to inflation, food and drinks price will be increased because the cost to purchase raw material also increase. The salary of staff will be increased too due to inflation. The company cannot compete with other competitors when they have low purchasing power. It also make decrease in profit when the company have lower supplies of raw material. Number 4, effect of behavior of delivery agent or partner. When accident happen during the duty, it will cause lack of available rider as not many rider can cover many areas. The food also cannot be delivered when there is a damage to the food. It also will make unsatisfied customer to the delivery service. Late food delivery can be happen when the driver is eager to take more order than they should. Number 5, effect of stock or inventory problem. When there is an internal thief of food or money in the company, it will lead to short of stock and money. Oversupply or undersupply of raw material can be happen when the company have improper count of inventory. Improper management of financial problem will lead to high utility bills. Company have to decide throughoutly when purchasing the furniture to avoid frequently to buy new furniture. And the last one, number 6, effect of non-compliance of SOP. By using the expired or low quality of raw material will cause to improper food quality. Unhygienic environment can be happen when the company or the staff do not follow the SOP of handling food and beverages. Food poisoning also can be happen when the company do not follow the non-compliance of SOP. Business premise not clean properly when they are using too much chemical when cleaning the premise. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Fiqrie Hakim bin ROSLI. I will explain on how we come out with the risks that involve in food and beverage industry, and our main focus is franchising food and beverage industry such as McDonald's, KFC, and many other famous brands. The major parts in this analysis is to know the loophole that could trigger the danger in this industry. As we know, franchise F&B industry involved with cooking, operating, and also maintaining the food quality and also customer satisfaction. From these perspectives, we have come up with the risk identification, and it consists of disaster and accidental risk, loss in company income risk, inflation risk, behavior of delivery agent or partner risk, stock or inventory problem risk, and non-compliance to SOP risk. All of these risks is associated with the industry. The risk involved is likely to happen, and the industry player need to aware and prepare for any protection to protect them from any uncertainty. Next, for the risk evaluation and risk matrix, we have discussed and found out that there are only one risk that is under low category, which is non-compliance to SOP risk. Since this is a franchise F&B, this risk can be accepted, and it is a normal routine for the management to look into and control the severity. Another thing is there are two risks that fall under medium category, which the consequences is moderate and the likelihood is possible. The risk is behavior of delivery agent and partner risk, and stock inventories problem risk. This category of risk needs specific responsibility and treatment from the management. Next, there are also two risks that fall under high risk which need quarterly senior management review. The risks involved are disaster and accidental risk and inflation risk. The crucial category that really need monthly senior management review is the one that is in the extreme category. The risk involved is loss in company income risk. This risk will affect major consequences and almost certain to be happen.
Next is Takaful product. There is 3 product of fire risk. That is a Takaful My Fire by Takaful Malaysia, Zurich Essential Fire Takaful, the tariff, and next is Etika Assets and Liability Protection. So the first one is Takaful My Fire by Takaful Malaysia. Losses to property include a building, contents, furniture, equipment, and stock are covered by Takaful My Fire. The fundamental fire Takaful provide insurance for loss or damage to your property caused from a fire, thunderstorms, or home gas cylinder explosion in any building as long as the building is independent of any gas works. So the next one is Zurich Essential Fire Takaful the tariff. The Zurich Essential Fire Takaful is a tariff product that provide coverage for losses of damage to your covered property, including your building and its contents, brought on by fire, lightning, or explosion of gas used only for domestic purpose during the Takaful period. Next is Etika Asset and Liability Protection. Etika offers service for analyzing, assessing, avoiding, decreasing, and controlling risk exposures that accompany business activities might experience. Next, product of loss in company income risk. In a form of Islamic insurance known as takaful, participants put money into a pool system to cover one another against loss or injury. Islamic law or Sharia, which defines how people are required to help and protect one another, is the foundation for takaful branded insurance. Health, life, and general insurance requirements are covered through takaful policies. So, the next is product of inflation risk. That is a privilege to various types of occupation. More persons who qualify, it will be able to obtain life insurance without hesitation according to this type of takaful coverage. And next is food scheme offered by takaful. By satisfying the food community, this kind of scheme may assist the food industries in recovering the losses incurred while operating the product. The research found the Ministry of Agriculture, MAFI, Malaysia, will launch the Agrofood Takaful, an insurance scheme which, among others, provide income protection to our damaged due to natural disaster or disease. Next one is product of change in consumer taste risk. There is employer's liability takaful, which the product protects the participant from legal liability to pay compensation and claimant costs and expenses in regard to an employee's injury brought on by an accident or illness that arise out of and during the course of his work. Other than that is public liability takaful. The participant is shielded by the product from being required to pay compensation for unintended bodily harm or property damage to another person's property brought on by the negligence of the participant or his employees, by any flaws in the participant's premise, by any flaws in the participant method, or by any flaws in the participant work. There is two, which is a product of financial value risk and non-financial value risk. There is 2 points that under financial value risk and also non-financial value risk, it have a takaful Malaysia and Zurich Malaysia, same here to non-financial value risk, have a same takaful with financial value risk. For product of financial value risk, takaful Malaysia, a non-mobile machinery is covered against all risks, including equipment that is at risk of theft, a fire, or other mishaps unless specifically mentioned on the certificate. While Zurich Malaysia, theft-related losses are only covered by burglary takaful according to Zurich Malaysia. If there has also been a forcible or violent entry or exit from the premise by someone or something other than your own personnel. For non-financial value risk, in takaful Malaysia, you should think about getting public liability insurance if your business welcomes outside visitors. Owners of restaurants should know this in particular. For instance, the public liability insurance coverage will accept and pay for the client's medical or damage claim if they food poisoning or slip and fall as a result of the food served at your restaurant. And the last one is Zurich Malaysia. For food loss or damage, Zurich Malaysia will offer takaful. The scope of this policy has been expanded to include accidental food poisoning for the insured person with the express permission of the takaful.
Next, I'm going to talk about non-financial products, which is contain 6 points. The first point is the product of fire risk. First, we have to regularly practice fire risk. So we have to keep the substances away from the open flames, and also we have to maintain the emergency equipment for the emergency cases, and then we have to regularly to service and be careful of the examination thing, and also our workers must be trained for the emergency cases. The next point is the product of loss in company income risk. So we have to set a reasonable price, and then we have to spend less money for a while, and then we have to increase our money income streams, and also we have to control our money flows and also our creditors discretion. The third point is product of inflation risk, which is consumer price index, and we have to develop of skills or related job training, and then we must have a business intelligence and money base, and we have to do an accounting planning for a long term or short term, and also we have ways of doing things and business planning for future. And then the next one is the product of behavior of delivery with agent or partner. The first one, we have to change the schedule and delivery radius based on the date, and then make it simple for customer to order food from anywhere and anytime, so it convenience for them. And then we have to simplify the order acceptance procedure, so that less procedure, less customer complain. And then check that the menu is optimized for delivery, because not all food can be delivered by on time, so the customer must be satisfied with our services. And then lastly, we must have take a special care with food presentation and also packaging, to avoid a lot of bad experience from the customer. And then we have a product financial value risk, which is we have a software for food and drink traceability, and then we have a way of controlling the access, and then we must excellent in the facilities, and also we must have a high quality locking, which is for the machines, methods and ways, and also driver perceptions. And then lastly, product of non-financial value risk, we must avoid the cross contamination. When the food that we buy, we must immediately store the food, and then we also buy the ingredients with many functions, and also keep the food in a plain sight, and also make wise substitutions. So that's all. Next.
Having a risk in the food part or area may be very hard and risky in a few ways. However, it might really help the firm to grow and what has to be fixed and improved in the future. Professionals are guided by standards and process, but it is also the duty of people who use the product or services to secure or to ensure food safety in their homes or in the business premises. The greatest method to practice food safety is to grab or understand food ways of thinking, basic truth, rules, including natural process and especially the dangers or risks to food produced by chemicals, both naturally happening and those introduced by earth. To conclude, and finally, having more understanding about food safety benefits everyone. Food safety is a shared responsibility, and even we control the food safety, we cannot also deny the risks that involve in the food and beverage industry. Thank you very much.